That's not supposed to do that. So like I said in the last video, second gen is back in my possession, and before we can get it back on the road, we're going to replace the water pump. Of course, it's like a super windy day, so this video is probably going to be mostly voiceovered, so it's not just wind noise the whole time. But we're going to get this water pump swapped out on this. Luckily, these water pumps are super easy. It's literally just 2 bolts. Pop the belt off. Hopefully, I won't even have to really mess with taking the whole belt off. I can just get away with taking it off the water pump right there. You got a new Gates one pump. This comes with an O-ring. So yeah, let's get to swapping this thing out and getting this truck back on the road. First thing we got to do is get this cert belt off. You definitely don't need one of these fancy serpentine belt tools. I just use mine because I already feel like an idiot for spending so much money on tools that I didn't need. So it makes me feel a little less bad about it if I use them. And I'll show you when I get it out. This pulley's like about to snap off. Now there should be 2 10mm bolts holding the water pump in. Now we're going to try to get this thing out, and of course, like usual, I'll probably miss my whole drain pan and dump coolant all over my feet. Not too bad, not too bad. Sorry EPA if you're watching this. So yeah, this is the new water pump. As you can see, nice and tight. This thing was properly whooped. Check this play out in this bearing. Like, I don't know if you can see that, but like this thing's about to fucking fly off the truck. And this bitch is heavy. It's not no little plastic water pump, so I'm very glad we caught this before it turned catastrophic. Throw this new O-ring right in there. I just ran a little bit of O-ring lube on it. It's a Permatex product. You don't need it, but it makes me sleep a little bit better at night. Putting this in, pretty straightforward. It's right back out where the old one came from. You guys probably can't even see it, but same 2 bolts. Throw this thing in. The wind blew you guys over, and I don't know how much you can hear, but the new water pump's in. I'm going to go ahead and throw this serpentine belt on. And the cert belt is all back on. Route it right. And tomorrow we'll run and get coolant for this thing, fill it up, and fire it up. In typical New Jersey fashion, the day after I put the water pump in, it dropped like 30 degrees and was windy. So I did not get coolant that day. But today after work, I cruised over to the AutoZone, grabbed some coolant, and we're going to fill this thing up, start it up, make sure there's no leaks, and this will be done. I got the cheapest universal coolant there is. It's like 13 bucks a jug at a $20 AutoZone rewards, so I just want to get this truck back on the road. I wouldn't do this. I'd probably flush the whole system and fill it with a good coolant, but we don't have time for that right now, so we're just going to dump this in. I think the worries about making a mess on this are out the window, so no funnel. I don't hear it pouring directly out onto the ground, so I guess that's a good sign. Pretty much just going to do a lot of dumping and squeezing radiator hoses and letting it settle to fill the rad up. Then we'll run it with the cap off, kind of do the same thing. Now, Mason borrowed this truck not too long ago to pick up some bike stuff, and supposedly like the pump got airbound or something and it shut off and wouldn't start again, and he had to bleed the line. So I'm hoping it just fires up right now, because he drove it home after that, and then that's when he noticed that the water pump was leaking. So we're gonna go ahead and fire it up, and hopefully it starts. One of those coolant system refiller funnels with the stop in it and all would be like super nice right now. And it seems like all I've been doing recently is coolant repairs on anything I own. So I would recommend getting one of them, because it's probably going to make a mess once I start this. Yeah, would have came in handy. I did my cousin's radiator in his second gen. He's got a 1500 gasser a while ago. Made a mess doing that, and now I'm going to make a mess doing this. So if you're going to be doing this, I would get one of them. Maybe I'll order one of them tonight, but this needs to get back on the road as soon as possible. So we're just going to do it the old-fashioned way. this process is just gonna be bleeding this cooling system. I mean, it's gonna take forever to ever get to operating temp. If you know these Cummins trucks, they take like an hour to get to operating temp. Throw the heaters on, let this thing run for a while. But regardless, I'm pretty hyped to have this thing back. Should be back on the road, just gotta get it registered, do some more maintenance stuff on it, but that'll probably be a whole different video. Like, we started filming videos about this truck like 3 years ago saying we're gonna get it back on the road, and Mason got it back on the road after I didn't feel like paying for an ECM. He drove it around for a little bit, I got it back off of him. So this is definitely gonna be a new staple in the channel, just working through this thing, working the kinks out of it. It's an old truck, it's kind of shitty. I just shut it off so you guys can hear me. Oh my God, Kia Optima. Whatever. So yeah, this is pretty much wrapped up. Like I said, we're just going to have to bleed it all out, bleed the cooling system. But these things take forever to warm up. Clearly going to have to spray everything down, clean everything out, get a couple maintenance parts like I said. That filter's from 2017. Could be an issue for drivability. And it definitely needs an overhead. Probably wind up getting to that stuff, doing a whole video on like a big maintenance job on this. But yeah, it's the first video with the second gen back. Water pump's done, so this should be drivable now, but not road ready. If you guys like second gen content, make sure to hit like down below. Coming out with a bunch of new videos. That's one of them. So for all you shovelhead guys, that'll be sick. And just general updates with the fleet coming up. It's been so long since we made videos, but I'll catch you on the next one.